Peace. This is Anpu with a video on question everything. I know it's been a minute. The past videos I did on question everything was basically based on religion and on the Bible, was breaking it down. But in this segment, I'm going to do a little different. This segment, we go into science and history. So the title on this video is going to be She is God. That's right. She is God. I know people probably like, Anpu, what are you talking about? What do you mean she is God? She is the goddess. She is the creator. I know religious people, according to the Bible, is all based off of the Father, God being the man. But I've always had this discussion with religious people, and my question is, if God's the Father, then who's his mother? Why does these books don't speak about the Holy Mother? And if Jesus existed in heaven before coming to earth, then how did that come to be? Was it just all because God thought and he just appeared? So it's a kind of a touchy topic to touch on when it comes to gender and religion and dealing with gods and goddesses. So in order to break these things down, we got to go into science. We got to go into what can we confirm. We got to go into facts, not faith. We got to go into what's real, not what not what you think or what you believe. So in this segment I talk a lot about spirituality and deal with the spiritual realms and stuff like that nature. But at the end of the day, I'm an astral traveler. I'm also a deep dreamer. I dream every day. I've had conscious dreams, and we gotta understand that, for me, I'm dealing with two realms, maybe more, different dimensions, but I'm dealing with two realms. I'm dealing with the spiritual realm, when I rest my mind, and I'm also dealing with this third dimensional realm. And that's something that, when people research spirituality, they want to just, push this realm to the side. Like I spoke about in my last video, this realm is very important. So, these are the hidden secrets, and knowledge. And I think that this should have been my first video when it comes to question everything. But I had to break down, the religious part, because, like I said, these people are under religion spells, gospel, ghost spells. They're under a spell. So that was my way of breaking those, or bringing those to the light that has been blinded and lied to. So, but this one should have been the first, man. She is God. I did a lot of research on it, and I came across a lot of information that I didn't know. And like I said, all this type of information was coming to me when I became truly awakened, when I started having these astral traveling, out-of-body experiences. And it was like information was just pouring in. And they do say that this is the information stage. These are the times that information is going to be coming out. These are the times that the truth will be told. So all the things that we've been taught, you come to find out that it's false. So these are the times. These are the times to research, do your homework. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. And this is what I did. I looked up other scholars and and read different authors and different books, and and that's the conclusion that I came up with. I'm pretty sure a whole lot of others came up with. And then sometimes you just look at what's around you. You don't even gotta do too much research. It's just common sense that she is God. She is the creator. So when I became awakened, I did a lot of studying. So I'm going over my notes. I haven't looked at these in years, since like 2012. So, first thing we're going to break down is the chromosomes. All right. Chromosomes is what makes up these physical bodies. Chromosomes, atoms, molecules. So, when you look at the chromosomes, you're looking at your DNA, basically the building blocks of yourself. You have some chromosomes from your mother, some chromosomes from your father come together, and it creates you. Well, it creates this vessel, because really you're not this body, but you just using it for the time being to get this experience. So it's 23 chromosomes from your mother, 23 chromosomes from your father, which makes up 46 chromosomes within each individual. So each individual has 46 chromosomes. And when you break them down, the DNA, you're going into the blood, you're going to RNA, and RNA and DNA, okay? And now if you look at the chromosomes, a woman's chromosome is XX. A man's chromosome is XY, right? And even when you just look at it, the woman's chromosome XX is more complete, because what makes that Y is that missing leg, and that missing leg makes it look like a Y. And you can see how the size difference it is. So the woman's chromosome is much greater than the man's chromosome. It's more complete. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of haters on this video, but it's just real. It's just real. This is just real information. I mean, when I came across the information, I was kind of confused too, but I accepted it. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So, the RNA is the substance that transforms, to DNA. It's like a long-term memory. We got that mitochondrial DNA. Now, mitochondrial DNA, it exists within a woman. So you want to trace back your ancestry. You got to do that through the woman, through mitochondrial DNA. You can't do it with a man. And this is why I was stating in one of my Question Everything videos on when you read the Bible in Genesis and how it breaks down the generations, it always mentions all men's names. It never mentions the woman's name. Why is that? What are they trying to hide? So it really should have been all the women's names within that bloodline that traces back to you and to your ancestry. Is mitochondrial DNA. And a man has the mitochondrial DNA within the semen, but when it enters the egg, it loses it. So there's no way you could trace back your ancestry that deep, without that mitochondrial DNA. You can only do that through the woman. And that's deep. That right there sums it pretty much. Of course, you have a lot of DNA strands that are not, active. That's another video. So basically, when you look at the woman, what can she do? Like that missing leg is called the ribonucleic acid. Now, this gives the woman the ability to create. And this is why men can't create. Men cannot have, bear children. So that is the ribonucleic acid. And that's why, when you look into the Bible and it said that Adam, Eve came from Adam's rib, which is strange because then man will be missing, a rib. He had to give a rib to create the woman. But like I said, go into facts and you go into science. The man and the woman has the same amount of ribs. So that's scratched off. That doesn't make no sense. So the ribonucleic acid. So really Adam came from her, because this is the rib that they talking about. So that ribonucleic acid is where you find the RNA and the DNA, mitochondrial DNA and all that. That's that ribonucleic acid. That's that leg that's missing. So if you think about it, men are incomplete, pretty much, and the woman is very complete. And when the baby is in the womb, when a baby is being formed in the womb, of course it takes different stages. But as we being created, while we in that womb, we are all females. That's a fact. We are all females within the first 6 weeks in the woman's womb. And this is why it takes, 6 weeks to determine if it's going to be a boy or a girl, because it takes, far as the testosterone and the chemicals mixing up, and then, more than one and the other, it depends on if, the testes would descend to determine if it's a boy. So, when you look at the woman's body, the clitoris is nothing but a man's phallus. The ovaries is nothing but the testes. And the woman's womb is nothing but the prostate gland. This is science. This is basic science. And look these things up. And when you look at a body of a woman and the body of a man, it's really not that much different. So it's not a big difference. But it takes 6 weeks for those ovaries to fall down, which becomes the testicles, pretty much. And when you look at a baby, for those out there that have children, that had children, that have an infant now, or even adults, I'm talking to the men out there, the boys. When you look at your body and examine your own body, when you look at the tip of your penis, there's a line that goes all the way down under to the anus, and it's like if it's stitched up. Really, it's like it's stitched up, meaning that it was an opening. So this is that's where your womb is at. You know what I'm saying? It's we all born females, and then once that the testes descend, the body starts to it stitches up the hole, pretty much. So we are all born females. That's power right there. That shows you. We looking at nature. That shows you right there. If you have an infant, look at when you're changing your infant's diaper, look at it. You see it's like a surgical stitch from the tip of the penis all the way down to the anus, which is deep. Dealing with the ribonucleic acid, that's the whole story of the rib. That's what they're talking about. The people that study metaphysics and the Bible, that's what they're talking about as far as the rib. So about the blood, the oldest blood on this planet is O negative. O negative. And who carries the oldest blood type? The woman. African woman, to be exact. Melanated woman. O negative. It's the oldest blood type on this planet. Even scientists, I was doing some research, even scientists said that the woman existed on this planet 150,000 years before the male species. That's deep. If you think about it, how did they come up with this theory, right? Because when they've been finding these bones of ancient, beings or ancient ancestors, primates, though they say that are close to relatives to the human species, their hip bones are very wide, meaning that they carry a baby. When a woman has wider hip bones, because they need that support to carry the baby within the womb. So can you imagine that women existed 150,000 years before the male? Now that's deep. Now ask yourself this: what is right now the oldest bones that found dealing with relations to the human species? It's they call her Lucy, and they found her bones remains in Africa, and she dates back millions of years. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 1.4 million years or something like that. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's millions of years. And it is determined that she is a female, that Bones was a female. So what did that tell you? Maybe that theory is right? Like I said, we got to go into science and go into facts. Even when you're dealing with breaking down words, going back to religion, the word Adam comes from the word Adama, and the word Adama means blood. See what I'm saying? Blood, Adama. So that's why we gotta break these things down and do your research. And you come to find out, you're like, wow, all this shit is subliminal, man. Subliminal messages. But these are the messages that you gotta catch. Even when you break down the words of the word woman, you get the word man from the word woman. You get the word he from the word she. You know what I'm saying? So, you gotta think about it. It's always the woman, when you're dealing with the woman aspect on this third dimension, is much greater than the male. This is why there's so much imbalance in the world right now. It's because the woman has fallen. And the man is, his nature is different than the woman's. A woman is more spiritual. A man is more structured. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just stating the facts. And we gotta think about it. Right now, it's not balanced. And this is why this world is unbalanced right now. So we gotta balance, the scale to make things right, so then we all can live in harmony. Going back to the word, even the word feminine. In the word feminine, you have that word 9. And those that study numerology and the metaphysics, the word 9 is the highest. 9 is the highest number. You got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything else after 9 is a repeat of the other numbers. 10 is a 1 and a 0. 20 is a 2 and a 0. So 9 means the highest. So when you're talking about spirituality, going back to the word 9, when you break down the word feminine, it has the word 9 in it, right? And the universe came out of the 9 ethers. For those that study metaphysics, you know what I'm talking about. And the 9 is a symbol of pregnancy, is original DNA. And all life moves in a circular motion. So when you draw the 9, you know what I'm saying? It's that circular motion. Start point, it comes up. It's that circular motion. That's when you're dealing with the 9 ethers. Okay. Also, when you for those that are into the Islam religion or the 5 percenters, the mathematics, when people be doing the mathematics and the numbers, the number 9 means born. See, there it is again. Also, the number 9 is the number of sex, which is a set, Isis. And when dealing with the ancient Egyptians, I just so happen to have my King Tut shirt on. The woman is more than a number 2. She is the number 0. According to the teachings of Muhammad. He said the number 2. He said that she's The one came from the zero. You know what I'm saying? The one is masculine. You know what I'm saying? But she came before the one. Because the one is a masculine number. So we're dealing with that zero again. Circular motion. That is the motion of life. If you look at the way how the planets move in the solar system, they move in a circular motion. The number 9, meaning complete. She is complete. Oh, I want to quote something from Dr. Ben, one of the scholars I study under. You can look up Dr. Ben. He got some good information. Dr. Ben said, heaven is between the legs of a black woman. That's pretty deep. It's real deep. So let's go back more into the science, man. A woman has more genes than a man. The woman has 1,498 genes. A man only has 72. So basically, this shows that, it's a lot of information that shows that the woman was here first. I mean, you can't get a man from a man. You can't get a woman from a man. But you could get a woman from a woman. You could get a man from a woman. See, to me, that makes sense. What else? Like I said, man, when you're dealing with the male and the female, right now we're dealing with patriarchy, meaning that men rule. But when you study history, it shows that it was matriarchy before patriarchy. Matriarchy meaning when women ruled. When you go back into ancient times, the spiritual leader was always the woman. So basically, she was the one that was closest to the spiritual world, the oracles. I mean, when you watch these movies, of dealing with magic, dealing with witches, dealing with oracles, they basically all women. So basically, in ancient times, the spiritual leader was basically their ruler, because she would get answers from the spiritual realm and bring it back to this third dimensional realm in order, to solve certain problems. So if the the tribe was going through famine and there was no water, there was no food, or some type of danger with dealing with the weather and stuff like that, they need to find answers. And so what the woman would do is go within herself, because the woman has a better connection within the spiritual realm than men do. And she would go into the spiritual realm, speak to the ancestors, and they would get that information and then bring it back to help the tribe, to help their family. So, when you look at things like that, the woman was worshipped first. But of course, man got in, became ruler, and that's why when you see a lot of these pharaohs, when you see the pharaohs and ancient Egyptians, you see how they have like a skirt, what I'm saying? That represents basically the feminine energy, the feminine real rulership. The male was just that front piece, but the one that was really ruling was in the back. So basically, when you look at major figures as far as in the entertainment system, in entertainment world, or people that are ruling, these men, they won't be able to rule without a good woman on their side. You know what I'm saying? So every good man has a good woman on his side. Basically, that's facts. Even when you look at the languages, like the Hebrew language and the Arabic language, how it's written, it's like they're cousins, right? Arabic, and Hebrew. And all female names in Arabic and in Hebrew ends with an AH. That's deep. So you gotta think about it. Look at the word Allah within the Arabic world. Arabic teachings, the word Allah. They pray to Allah. And that ends with an AH. So if you was to go on Google and look up female Arabic names, most of the names in Arabic ends with an AH. Even if you look up Hebrew female names, they end with an AH. So that tells you a lot. Women's are, they're the first teachers, man. Women is the first teachers. Like I said, it doesn't take books to know this. You research this. Look at your life. It's crazy how it is. I know there are so many. There are more female single parents out there than there are male single parents. The woman is the one that's left alone with the child to raise, if it's a boy or a girl. You got some women out there that raised some warriors, but it took a woman to do that. When a baby is born, guess what? A man can't feed that baby, but a woman can with her breast milk. And then when you look at the science of it, like the ingredients that's within the breast milk is very powerful. It makes the baby stronger. It makes the baby smarter. This is why doctors tell women to breastfeed. They can fight off all types of diseases and shit and sicknesses. They can fight that stuff off with just the breast milk. That's powerful. So when that baby is born, you gotta think about it. That when you came out the womb, you didn't know nothing about no religion. You didn't know nothing about no Bible, no Quran, no Torah, no nothing. Your woman, your mother was your creator. Your mother is your God. That's how I looked at it. I came out the womb. I ain't know nothing about no Jesus Christ, but I knew the comfort of a mother's womb and a mother's love and a mother's touch. You see what I'm saying? That's real to me. This other stuff is it's fake. It's not real. It's not enough evidence to back this stuff up, but to me, that's real. My grandmother, she was the keystone in my family. The keystone in my family. She held the family down. And those know Big Mama. Big Mamas, they hold the shit down. That's the power of the woman. The women can endure so much in life and still take care of their business when it comes to their family. And this is the reason why things are getting imbalanced now, because women don't know how to be mothers no more. So that's messing up the whole balance of life. And this is why you got these young kids out here, killing each other. No respect for the elders. See, when I was growing up, we were taught to respect the elders. We were taught to respect women. Basically, if you disrespect your mother, then you're gonna have no respect for nobody in the world. And what that puts you in? It puts you in a position of the penitentiary or dead. Basically, you have no morals in life, and it starts with the woman. It starts with the mother. You gotta understand that. And even we break it down. Let's see. Let's go back to the ancient Egyptian teachings. The goddess Nut. The goddess Nut, when you look at her hieroglyphics, she is represented as the heavens, the universe. Here is an ancient culture that is very respected when it comes to information. It's the oldest civilization on this planet, far as that left evidence behind on their belief system. And when you look up the goddess Nut, she is the universe. She is the heavens. Okay? And when you look at the picture, I mean, this picture is drawn on the walls thousands of years ago. You know, but you think about it, like all the other religions, they suppress the woman. Christianity suppresses the woman. Islam, Judaism, you know, they all suppress the woman. Why is that? Why is that? Within Christianity, you know, Eve ate the fruit, and it's all because of her that all this disaster is going on in the world. She's the cause of it. So we got to question that. How true is that? And if you watch my video and question everything on the Bible, I broke that down. You know, I broke that down. And in Judaism, there's no female rabbis. The female can't even touch the Torah. That's crazy. She can't even touch it. And you know, it's plain to see. You know, I'm from Queens, New York. There's a lot of Jews where I used to live, and you see how they treat their women like garbage. Even with the Islam, they treat their women like garbage. They ain't nothing. In other countries, man, they get beat, especially in India with the Hinduism. Like, you know, there's a holiday in India that the woman gets to beat their husband. And there's only one day out the year they get to do that. Why is that? Because throughout the rest of the year, they get treated like trash. The woman has no say-so. She has no power. And this is the reason why we're in this situation to this day. I mean, you think about it. Mother Earth. They call it Mother Earth. Why? Because she's the creator. Mother Africa. Mother Nature. See, you're dealing with the mother, you're dealing with the woman, you're dealing with creation. So how the hell the man was here first? How? It doesn't make sense. Now, if the woman was here first and the story was twisted that way, then yeah, I could believe a little bit of that. But going back to the goddess Nut, you know, she had two children, Shu and Geb. So Shu was the air god, which is the atmosphere separating from the heavens and the earth. Then you had Geb. Geb represented as the earth. But the mother of these two was Nut. And when you see the picture, she's like crouched over with stars on her body. And that's why when you go into these temples, when you go into the temples in ancient Egypt, when you go into these sacred temples, in the ceiling is painted black with stars on it. In all the temples. What that represents the goddess, that represent the woman. But people don't want to talk about that. You know, like I said, Isis, her symbol, her hieroglyphics is a throne. The Ankh, you know, now everybody is getting in tune with the Ankh. The Ankh represents the womb. It represents the woman. You know? So let's really break this down, man. To keep it real with you, the woman lives longer than the man. There are more women in this world than men. A woman can retain her youth longer than a man. A woman can adjust her blood pressure quicker than a man. A man has more heart attacks than a woman. Women get less ulcers than men. Women can endure colder weather better than men. In high altitudes, where they're like, when it's like in the mountains, it's like 18% less oxygen in those mountains, the woman can carry a heavier load than men. You know, because of the oxygen capacity. She has stronger muscle textures. Her muscle textures is much better than the man. The female brain has a finer texture and has more complex organization than a man. A woman's brain is heavier than a man. And when a woman has a miscarriage, it's more likely to be, it's more likely for her to lose the boy than the girl. And for those females that are out there, and if you had experience in miscarriage, the doctor probably told you, yeah, it was a boy. It was a boy. So, a female has a larger thyroid gland. A female has 3 lobes, a man has 2 lobes. So everything about a female aspect is greater than the man. So why are we putting the woman down so much when we should be worshiping her? For you that are listening and watching this video, you came here through a woman. So you want to get deep and spiritual. Yes, you did exist in the spiritual realm. But in order to get here in this dimension, you have to go through a woman. Think about the story of Jesus. And then you have people like, well, what about, so a woman would just give birth. How can a woman give birth without a man? You'll have that type of discussion. Like I said, you do the science. In those times, like they said, 150,000 years ago, women existed before men. Those times and those species at that time, we're not talking about the Homo sapien. We're dealing with a different humanoid at that time. She was able to give birth without the male species. And there's other species on this planet to this day that can give birth without a male species. You know what I'm saying? It's called parthenogenesis. That's what it's called. And this is why in ancient Egypt, they had the scarab beetle. The scarab beetle represents reproduction without a mate. The scarab beetle, this is why they had that symbol on those walls and those hieroglyphics all the time, because they knew what they were talking about. That beetle can reproduce on its own. And that represents the feminine energy. And which is crazy fact is, when a scarab beetle do mate with a male beetle, it dies after it gives birth. It dies. That's crazy. So when you really think about it, right? Why is that when a man ejaculates into a woman's womb, the sperm cells, billions of sperm cells start swimming towards the egg, right? They start swimming towards the egg, but then what does the woman body tries to do? The woman tries to kill off these sperm cells. That's why as a race, this is the whole term of survival of the fittest come from. A woman's, she produced this film of protection around the egg so the sperm cells can't penetrate through it. And this is why a lot of them don't, die off. It only takes one to get through to start the spark. But then you think about it, what starts the creation of the being within the woman's womb is not really the sperm. It's the energy. You have billions of cells. It's like an electrical charge. The woman is the positive charge, the sperm cells are the negative charge, and you bring those two together, you create a fusion. Boom, it's like a bomb. And this is what kickstarts the forming of the body within the woman. So going back to the first beings that was creating without a male species 150,000 years ago, I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta think about it. The atmosphere was different. The oxygen level was way higher. This is why when you look at the fossil bones of dinosaurs, they were huge. They were huge. The oxygen level was different. The earth was in a different state. The water was good. What the beings ate, their diet was different. I was also during my research, I was told that these women would open their legs up to the sun And if they had the power to will their pregnancy, that's how powerful they were mentally. If they wanted to conceive a child, they just thought it was a thought. That's how powerful they were, and we lost that. And that's just real. You can see life now, man. These people just getting dumber and dumber. And it's real. You know, they were able to build pyramids back then. We can't even build, you know, nothing close to that. Now we have all this technology. So when you just look at the world and the science and nature, you know, there's so many species that create without a male species. You know, through my research, I was told that a woman can create sperm within a fallopian tubes within the vagina. You know, she was able to create that and then impregnate herself. And then you have, I forgot which, in certain cultures, in ancient cultures, and they pick their god with their penis going to their mouth and ejaculating into their mouth, going inside themselves and impregnate themselves and giving birth. That shit sound crazy. But this is how with these other cultures that, you know, put the male as their head deity. This is how they depict it, because they question it. How the hell did he impregnate themselves and then gave birth throughout what womb? I mean, come on. This is basic science. I mean, when you look at the earth is round. When you look at your eyes, they are round. When you look at the woman's egg, it's round. I mean, that's basic knowledge, man. And then you think about the motions, like I spoke about the motions. Circular motion. Your blood cells are round. Everything is in that circular motion. That's dealing with the feminine energy, feminine aspect of it. So, you know, these are things that we got to question. These are things that we really have to question. I mean, I have so much other information. I just don't want to, you know, I just want to leave it at that. You know, just drop a little knowledge on a woman and why I say she is God. She is the creator. And that's the thing too, like people go, oh, how women just create on her own, how she give birth on her own without a male being present, without a male sperm. And these are the same religious people, same people that are Christian, but they believe the story of how Jesus came to be. You know, the virgin birth, what that tells you. Parthenogenesis. She was able to conceive a child without the male. And that same story was taken from an ancient Egyptian story when you're dealing with Isis, a Set. A Set gave birth to Horus. She gave a virgin birth. So it's okay to believe in these mythology and biblical stories, but you can't believe in science. You can't believe what I'm saying to you right now. So what I'm saying to you right now sounds crazy, but you believe in this and you've been taught this through religion, that it is possible that a woman could give birth without a male. I just bought this book and it speaks about, it's a group of women in Europe that gave birth without a male. Also, some women have a condition or had a condition called, I think it's called thyroid cyst. It's like a tumor that forms in the ovaries. And so when women have this issue, you know, these cysts have teeth, hair. It starts developing a being within a womb. Now this has nothing to do with having intercourse with a man. A woman can naturally produce this on her own. I mean, that's proof right there. But they say there's a tumor oh, we gotta, when doctors find out that women are, having these issues, when they go to the doctor and they see, damn, they have baby being formed in the womb without even intercourse, they go, oh, automatically they gotta take it out. Because to them, it's not normal. It's not normal. So we gotta question that. Do your research. Everything that I spoke about in this video, because I know it's been a minute, and I always said that I wanted to do this video on how the women is God. And just think about it, man. It gets deep. And the more you start understanding that, once, this video is for everybody, but I really want the women to really realize how important they are. How important they are. Also, before I forget, I just happened to look at this bookmark that I had, and it's got this from a good friend of mine. It's a picture, I can see it, of Akhenaten. Now, Akhenaten, when you look at his statues or hieroglyphics, he's depicted as half man, half woman, like a hermaphrodite, right? So, and he was the one that had took from believing in many gods to believing into one God. And as you see him in most of his pictures, that he's worshiping the sun, that energy from the sun. And this is how those beings, thousands of years ago was able to reproduce. That kinetic energy of the sun. The same thing what the sperm does. It's just energy. It creates energy. Right? So, on that note, I just want to say that I want to end this video saying this. She is not a woman. She is a supreme being. She is the first deity to reincarnate on this earth. The woman had to give life to the Stargate. So when she manifested here on earth, so then we could come through her body to exist. The Milky Way is nothing but her body. And the chakras is the planets. Everything in the center is spinning. This is what really happened in the beginning. She is God. I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you go and do your research on the things I spoke upon. And until we meet again, Hotep, peace. Peace to all the goddesses that's out there. Once a woman know what she is, then a man would know what he is, what he really is. We look at it like a man ain't nothing but a half breed of a woman. This is why we have nipples. This is why we have a belly button, a navel, right? Where we get this stuff from? Get it from the woman. So like I said, until we meet again, this is Anpu for another video on Question Everything.